All right, y'all. So I'm just um I'm out walking. Let's see if I can share. All right, so I'm sharing this on Facebook too. Redbird, you're the first person to come on. So I am starting my 10-day water fast tomorrow, and I'm also going to be um, going live for the next 10 days, starting tomorrow between 6:45 and 7:15. That'll be around the times that I go live. Um, to just give you guys an update on how I'm doing throughout the day with the water fast. And now I've opened the fast up for you guys to do with me, and I want to make it a community type effort. I know everybody is not going to be able to do a 10-day water fast. Maybe you can do a day. Um, maybe you can do 2 days. I'm fine. I'm walking. Yeah. All right. So, okay. Um, what I'm doing is um, I want you guys to see the process of what happens when you do a 10-day or a so many day water fast. I'm going to update you guys every day. Whoever wants to take a part in doing a water fast can do it. If you're not, or you can just do water. You can do water. Hey, honey. You can do coffee, no cream, no sugar, or you can do green tea or black tea. If you're just going to do it for a couple days. And that's easy. There's a video that I'm going to, after I get home, because right now I'm on my 5-mile walk. Um, so there's a video that I'm going to link in this video that tells you guys how to start fasting, what you need to do every day when you fast. It's a very good video. He does a lot better explaining it than I do. So I'm going to link that video down below, and every live that I do throughout the fast, I will link the video. My goal is to document the process. On YouTube, I always see people do fast, but they just do one video of the days. But I'm going to come on here every day. Good. No, that was my no. That was the spouse coming to see if I was okay, because it's getting kind of late. But I told him I was fine. No, it wasn't a stranger. Because I had said that I wanted to go live around 7. He hit the gas station, but no, I'm walking, and I'm almost home. So, I think, um, let's see how many miles I've done so far. Uh, let's see. I'm at 10,000 steps. I am at 4 miles. Okay, so I got one more. I got a mile and a half, about a mile and a little bit before I'm home. We got back a little later than expected today, but I still was gonna get some exercise in and walk 5 miles. So, what was I saying? So, if you don't think that you can fast for X amount of days, I want you to try intermittent fasting. You can do 16 and 8, you can do 20 and 4, or you can do 12 and 12. Just get your body prepared to fast. Start out. There's no right or wrong way to fast. Um, and it is something that takes time to build up to. I'm not gonna lie, it's very hard to fast 10 days. I got to 5 days and then I went to 10. But it takes a lot of data, takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of prayer. You need a lot of, not a lot of time to yourself, but you do need time to yourself to kind of reflect. It makes you aware of the people around you, your life situations, your own behaviors. So there is a lot that happens when you fast. You become, I don't want to sound weird or anything, but you become more situation awareness of yourself. And you also gain discipline by fasting. I've always thought to myself, you know, you're not a very disciplined person. And I am quite disciplined when it comes to things that I need to do. And the reason I think that, because the only time I've ever been disciplined with myself and kept a schedule is when I worked in the culinary industry, and show restraint. But the fasting, the fasting help to discipline me to know when I'm hungry and when I just want food. And it also taught me when I was thirsty. Sometimes you can be dehydrated and not getting enough water and you will feel hunger. I don't feel hunger like I used to before I started fasting. I know what hunger is now. And it's not like, oh my God, if I don't eat, I'm going to die. It's not like that. It's a whole nother feeling. You don't really feel it in your gut. You know up here. And that's what fasting helped me to realize. What else? Become vegan. There's also, I've also had to become very disciplined. Like I said, I'm still in the transitioning phase. I have to ask a lot of questions about what I'm eating, what's in it, and it is my responsibility to know what I'm putting in my body. And if I make a decision to put something in my body that I know I'm trying to abstain from. So I'll give y'all an example. This morning, I woke up, I was in Mobile. Serta's is my favorite coffee place in Mobile. And yesterday, I went and got coffee. And I said, let me get a mocha frappuccino, no dairy, almond milk, no whip. I knew that the Godiva chocolate mix they put in there was vegan friendly. However, I did not ask them about the powder mix, which I usually ask when I go to other coffee places. I didn't ask them that. Today I asked them, and the powder mix has a a dairy substitute in it. It's a dairy byproduct of dairy. And I drank it yesterday, so I was like, okay, now I know better, but I'm still gonna drink it today. I made a conscious decision to have that, even though I knew I shouldn't. But I'm being accountable for it because I know what I did. And I made the decision that next time I go to Serta's, hey honey, the next time I go to get coffee somewhere, if the mocha mix or the frap mix has dairy products in it, I'll just simply ask for an iced coffee with almond milk and a couple squirts of chocolate. You know what I'm saying? But those are the type of decisions I think about on a daily basis. I'm more aware of what I'm putting into my body. And I feel better. I feel like, hey, honey, I feel like I have more control over my life because I have more control over my body. I was really nervous about being around people and, transitioning into becoming a vegan, going out to eat. and being around people, because you don't want to make people feel um, weird or anything, or you don't want to upset people or make people think that you're trying to be funny or weird or something. So I'm not gonna lie, when I went out to dinner with my family um, last night, that was a big concern of mine, but it worked out fine. And my sister was very supportive. She was trying to help me find, vegan options. And I was, I felt good about the decision. And hey, honey, to, you know, have somebody there to like help me navigate, because you just don't know. You're trying to, pick items to eat on the menu. Sometimes you go into places, waitresses and waiters don't know what's really vegan or not, and that can be a little bit disturbing. So that was an ordeal in itself, but I made it through. I had a good meal. Everything was fine. There was no judgment um, by my family or anything, so that made me feel really good. I even had somebody tell me that they admire the fact that I decided to become vegan. Um, but that made me feel good. So I'm happy with the decisions I made, and I want to share it with y'all, anybody else who wants to follow along. So let's get back to the water fast, okay? And fasting. Don't force yourself to fast if you're not ready. If you are in a fast and you feel like you need to put something in your body, do it. Just don't do anything greasy, fatty, or unless it's like a healthy fat like avocado. Don't do any fruit. Don't do any sugary drinks. Nothing. Do leafy green veggies. If you're in the fast for 3 days or 4 days and you feel like you need to come out, break your fast with bone broth. Something light so that your pancreas won't go crazy or you won't feel sick, and slowly introduce the food back into your diet. Um, that's the first thing I'm going to say. The first couple days of fasting is really the most difficult when you're doing the water fast. Fasting for me was a lot easier when I could have green tea or when I could have black coffee. But when I went to the water fast, I'm not gonna lie, I experienced a little bit of anxiety because I knew I couldn't have tea. I couldn't have water. I couldn't have anything but water. And that was a little scary for me. I was constantly checking my sugar, and I was I was scaring myself because I had never done anything. And also, when you're fasting, I say keep it to yourself a little bit until you get into a certain, part of your fast, because people are gonna have things to say about you fasting. You're starving yourself. You need to eat. That's not healthy. It's gonna mess up your metabolism. None of that is true. Um, you're not starving yourself when you're fasting. Starvation is forced. Fasting is you're deciding to go without food. Know the difference. The human body, unless you have heart issues or some other extenuous situations, like if you're a type 1 diabetic, if you're like in chemo or something like that, then I would not recommend a water fast unless you talk to your doctor. But I will tell you this: weigh yourself before you start fasting. If you can, do the coffee, the tea, and water fasting, for a day or two. And then after that, weigh yourself check your blood pressure, look at your blood sugar, and see where it's at. You will start to see differences anyway. And the truth is, we eat we eat too much in this country. We eat way too much of too many unhealthy things. Um, and it's still a process for me. I am to the point where now I've started taking certain foods out of the house. I don't buy. Um, and I'm reading labels. I'm trying to stay away from glucose, high fructose corn syrup, any of those artificial sugars, because your body reacts different to those types of sugars than they do to regular natural sugars. So definitely be aware of that. Also, be aware of items that say 0 calories. Yeah, it's 0 calories. Um, but the stuff that they put into them are not healthy. So be careful about that. Um, Drinking too much diet soda and then eating a full, cheeseburger and a fry. And don't get me wrong, y'all, I love fries. And sometimes when I'm out, if I can't get nothing, I'll just have a fry and a water. Or I'll have a fry and a Sprite. Still not the best decision, but that's what I have at my disposal sometimes because I don't trust the salads from certain places. Because they come pre-made and they already got cheese and meat on them. So I say be aware. Always, try to have things on you. If you're intermittent fasting, take your meals with you or plan out where you're going to get your meals, what time you're going to break your fast. Plan everything out and pack and cook at home. That will make life a lot easier if you're going to intermittent fast. If you're doing the water fast, where you're going to do coffee, water, and tea, take your tea bags with you. Take a cup with you where you can get you hot water and have your tea. Or if you have a Keurig or something, take it. Regular coffee, black coffee, not hazelnut coffee and all that. Just basic, regular black coffee. Green tea, not all these like raspberry teas and all that, because those teas have fruit in them. So they would cause your body to come out of fasting mode. So be careful with those types of tea. If I'm rambling a lot, y'all, it's because of a lot of information and I couldn't get home to write it down and I didn't want to be late going on the live. So for you guys, thanks, honey. So that's where I'm at tonight. We're going to have vegan pizza. I'm going to have a salad. I'm going to have a smoothie. And just a couple other things I want. My fast is going to start at 6 a.m. That way, when I hit day 10, I can break it at 6 a.m. So I'm probably going to stay up tonight just to make sure I'm eating certain foods because I am vegan and I don't eat meat. There's certain foods that I've been eating the past week to prepare myself to make sure that I have a lot of the vitamins and nutrients I have, because when I do my water fast, I don't take any vitamins or anything. I don't put anything into my body but water. So I've just been trying to make sure I have all of the nutrients in my body that I need with certain foods. And tonight it's going to kind of be a chill night. I'm going to have a salad and like I said, I'm going to have vegan pizza and probably a mango smoothie with some berries and kale. And I got some chips, y'all. I got some kettle chips because that was the one thing that I wanted before my fast. And in the morning, I'll probably get up around 4:30. I'll have my last meal and I will start fasting at 6 a.m. and from that point on, I won't have anything but water for 10 days. Am I nervous about doing a 10-day fast again? Yes, I'm definitely nervous about fasting again for 10 days. I'm not going to even sit here and lie, because it was such, it took a lot of, perseverance. I was questioning if I was doing the right thing. I wasn't tired. I wasn't delirious. You do have to rest. Make sure you're getting enough rest at night. Um, so I was just worried because I had never taken on anything like that. I had done 2-day fast and 3-day fast, and I was like seeing like mad results. But overall, I feel better. Um, I am having a little bit of a breakout, but y'all know last Thursday I ate meat and at my thing, and it's just the outcome. My skin is purging, um, so it was a lot worse. So this is the purging from eating dairy and meat, which I expected was gonna happen. But as y'all can see, predominantly my skin is clear, um, but it's purging. So that's what happened when I, you know, had some I shouldn't have had. But like I said, I'm still in transition. I'm not perfect, but I'm getting to the point to where I just don't want meat at all. I don't have a craving for it. And I feel awful after I eat it. Not just physically awful, but I feel mentally like I know I shouldn't have did that. Like, why am I doing it to myself? So I really have to like think about like everything I put into my body, because I am no longer eating. I'm not eating just to eat. What is it? How do they say it? I'm eating to live, not live to eating. I'm at that point in my life. And I know a lot of people want to know, well, why have you become so drastic? Well, having type 2 diabetes, having FIA in my hip. I'm only 34, y'all. Um, and just seeing, like, looking at my family's medical history, um, only half of it, I've seen where I can end up. Um, I don't know a lot about my father's history. I do know that some of the conditions that I have are could come from my dad's side, like the hip issues. That is that's an Asian trait that just comes from his side. Um, I have walked almost 5 miles. Let's see. Um, I'm at 11,000 steps. I am at 4.7. Let's see. It kind of cut off. Let me see. Okay, so this is where I'm at right now as far as miles. So I'm almost through with my 5 miles. By the time I get home, I'll have 5 miles. Um, so I made a decision, you know, back in December, that I was going to start taking control, really around November, that I was going to take control of it. And I just been fighting and trying to figure out what works. I got tired of the metformin. I got tired of the side effects. And so I got tired of it. Every side effect that came with the metformin, I had every side effect, and I was miserable. You do not have to live with type 2 diabetes if you don't want to. You don't have to. You don't have to. It is a choice. And I made the choice that I was going to give this shit everything I had. Like, this type 2 diabetes is going to have to whoop my ass, so I'm going to whoop it. Because I can no longer live like that. I can't live like that. I refuse to live like that. It's just too many diseases that I've watched people in my family die from who had type 2 diabetes. I'm not trying to play with Alzheimer's. I'm not trying to play with dementia. I'm not trying to play with kidney disease. I'm not trying to play with heart disease. I'm not trying to have a stroke. I'm not trying to have a heart attack. I'm not trying to do any of that. So I felt like I had to take these type of measures to save my life, which was becoming a vegan. So that's why I'm here. And this is where I'm going to be. Um, and that's just what it is. And I'm not ashamed to say that. Um, because if I'm 34 and I'm having these kind of problems, what do I have to look to at 50? And y'all got to think, I don't have children. I want to have children. I can't have children and bring them into this world and teach them about healthy emotional habits, financial habits, spiritual habits, food habits, if I am not doing that myself. I grew up in chaos. I refuse to have children or even have my nieces and nephews around me, and my life is in chaos because they're looking at me. So that's why I took the drastic measures and decided to become vegan and started doing the water fast, walking 5 miles a day, and 3 days out of the week exercising and walking 5 miles a day. That's where I'm at. I'm not ashamed of it, and this is my truth. That's what it is. So yes, is it a whole 180 from where I was from? Yes. Is it strange? Is it different? Yes. Well, start when you want to, honey, because it's not going to be the end of it. If you want to start Tuesday, I'll be here Tuesday. Um, but it's just that's where I'm at. Um, about me, and I used to think I love me, I love myself, and I did love myself, but I don't feel like I was ever in love with me, and I feel like I'm in love with me. Um, I would never leave. A couple months ago, I would never have left the house without my wig on or my hair sewed in. Y'all, half of the last month, I've been walking around with my afro. It was not hard for me to stop eating meat. Um, I just, it wasn't hard. um, After I got off that fast, I tried a couple vegan options and I didn't like them. Yeah, you should wait, get through your finals, and then you can start. It's no right or wrong time to start. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Um, because I had been intermittent fasting and fasting for 2 to 3 times at 2 to 3 days out of the week, I would eat when I came off of my fast. I would eat like guacamole. I would eat salad. I would eat a lot of vegetables. I wouldn't eat a lot of meat. So I think since the holidays, after the holidays, I had already kind of started to transition from not eating meat. And the only time I was really eating a lot of meat or anything was when I was doing like mukbangs or when I was going out to events with my friends or whatever. But it wasn't hard. When I knew I was making the decision to become a vegan, I sat down and I wrote out a list of all the pros and cons of not eating meat. And then I prayed. I really prayed because I felt like, okay, this is probably going to be the end of my YouTube channel. That's why I came on here and I talked to y'all. Hey, honey, because I didn't know how people would receive it. So as soon as I made the decision and I had been living with that decision, I decided to come on and talk to y'all because I really felt like my subscriber base was going to die. And I wasn't about to make that type of decision and live one way off YouTube and live another way on YouTube. So I really did a lot of praying when I made the final decision to start transitioning. I did a lot of praying, and I prayed and I asked that God would take the desire for me to want meat and the desire to put things into my body that I didn't need, and to help me make the best food decisions for me, um, and to put a bubble around me to keep negativity and bad energy away from me while I'm on my journey in this process. And I left it at that. I prayed about it, and I didn't worry about it no more. And I really have not had the craving to eat meat, but for some reason I would still try to eat it because I know, but I gave myself this amount of time to transition. Every time I ate it, I get sick. I have the worst side effects, and I'd be like, you know what, God, I told you I didn't want to do this no more, and I feel like he be whooping my butt. So it was not a hard decision to give up meat. Like, y'all, I had one of my aunts to tell me, like, when I was like, oh, I'm going vegan, she was like, the world is coming to an end. You know, in the Bible, they say people are going to stop eating meat, and you see a lot of young people don't eat meat, and we're living in our last days. I got to find the scripture. And I'm like, Lord, not trying to be mean. My aunt is just one of those people. But I was like, that's not why I told her. I was trying to, she didn't even, think to ask me, okay, why are you becoming a vegan? What's the reason behind it? I don't know if she thought it was a fad or whatever. But I was just blown. Well, um, you have to, if you see something has not worked for people in your family, and then you look at people who do certain things and they live better, they live longer, you have to kind of step back and examine, well, what are they doing, and why am I not doing this, and if this will work. There are people who eat meat that are perfectly fine. There are some people that eat meat are not perfectly fine. I just happen to be one of those people that it does not work for me. It does not work for me. If you're a type 2 diabetic, meat plays with your insulin levels just like processed foods and sugars. That's what they don't tell you. You got to do your research, and then you got to look at where you stand. And a lot of people think being a vegan is expensive. No, the reason why being a vegan is expensive to some people because they go out and they buy all these vegan friendly foods when you just need to eat what comes out of the ground without a whole bunch of substitutions. Because a lot of the things that they're marketing towards vegans are not necessarily healthy. They have a lot of sodium and they have a lot of other stuff in them to give you that meat taste and flavor. It's not bad. Like, we went grocery shopping for tonight, and so that my spouse could have groceries in the house while I am fasting, because he's been eating vegan and pescatarian, and he still has chicken sometimes, but he doesn't eat red meat. But our bill for him and for tonight, and what I got, like little stuff I got for today and in the morning, was $60, and that's a whole week of groceries, y'all. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, you get what I'm saying? So it's not that hard um, to be a vegan. It's not that expensive like people think. Um, it's not. I definitely say if you are borderline diabetic, honey, don't let them hit you with that borderline stuff, because might put yourself in the mindset that you're already type 2 diabetic and just start working backwards. I wish I would have thought like that at first, you know. Um, but just know, if you're borderline, um, start taking steps now. And I know that it's hard to lose a mother. I lost my mother when I was 12. Her situation was totally different. But if you see that you're having this, if you're eating the same diet and you have the same behaviors, and then there's some things that just gonna happen no matter how healthy you are, because this body is temporary. But if you can do something to stay here longer, then make those changes. Um, but I'm sorry, for your loss. Um, but think about it in think about it in that sense. Maybe you can turn back and correct some things for yourself. Like um, yesterday, I was at home and I saw a lot of my classmates. Usually, I'd be ducking and dodging people because I didn't really have the best experience in high school, and people are still really petty. And I saw some of my classmates and I was looking at them and I was like, oh my God, y'all, some of them have aged so hard to the point I did not recognize them. And I I have been through a lot in my life. And I had to sit there in the car and thank God. Like I used to always think people was crazy, like when they would say, thank God I don't look like what I've been through. But I was really thanking God, about to cry on the way to pick my sister and the kids up after I ate lunch. Because with all the health issues and stuff that I've dealt with over the years, dealing with chronic vertigo, chronic fatigue syndrome, type 2 diabetes, my hip, everything, and just dealing with life in general, how I grew up, my emotional issues, I don't look like what I've been through. I don't look like what I've been through. And I'm about to be 35, y'all. I don't look like it. It don't show. It ain't wore me down. It ain't destroyed me. It ain't took my life. It ain't took my life. It ain't broke me. It ain't took my spirit. And some of these people look broke. They look tired. They look like they hurting. And I just had to thank God for that. I had to. I had to stop and thank him right there. Because I'd have been through it, around it, under it, over it. I done crawl. I done cry. I done scream. I done thought about driving my car in the bay. I done thought about swallowing a bottle of pills. I done thought about leaving the gas on in the house. I have been through it. But I don't look like it. I don't feel it. That's what I'm saying. So I had to really thank him yesterday. I have been through it. Physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, domestic abuse from an ex. I've been through it. All of it. All of it. And look at me. I'm still here. I am still here. And I don't look like it. That's all I got to say. I don't look like it. Every day you got to wake up and thank him. Because I don't look like it and I don't feel like what I've been through. I don't look like, I don't feel it. He good every day. And he don't have to be. He don't have to. Because I've seen people go through less and suffer more. Or they can't get past it. That's what I'm saying. Because I done been there. Trying to figure out why this keep happening to me. Why am I going through this? Lord, I'm tired. What's next? I done been there. By the time I was 19, every person that I came from, except for my daddy and his people, was gone. My mama was gone. My grandmama was gone. My granddaddy was gone. You know, I had a sister with a mental illness. I had one sister who was acting crazy. She was hurt. You know, then her children came along. I'm worried about her. My sister's doing fine now. Both of them. And look what we came through. People done talked about me. People still talk about me. People have been mean to me. People have lied. People have abused my name. Me. Man. And I don't care anymore. There's nothing nobody can do to me anymore. Nothing. Because I was tearing myself up. I ate myself into type 2 diabetes, y'all. Because I was depressed. I was sad. I was unhappy. I didn't like me. I did it to myself. I was happy. I did this to myself. You know, I didn't have to think about my emotional issues and stress when I was working as a chef and living my best life. And it all crumbled on me. And then I moved back to Alabama and it all dropped on me again. Everything that I thought I was over and dealt with, I had to come back home. You can't run from nothing. I ran all my 20s, my early 30s. I ran. I ran from my family. I ran from my issues that I had with them that I didn't have the courage to talk to them about. Some things I still will never talk to them about, or how they made me feel. Because people don't owe you nothing in this life. They don't owe me an apology. They don't owe me an apology. They know what they did was wrong. I I had to learn how to forgive them despite whether they gave me an apology or not. Whether it was my dad, my aunts, my siblings, old friends, enemies. I had to forgive them for me. And once I started to do those things and started that process, it was easy for me to walk away from bad habits and things that were not good for me. And it's taken a while. And that's part of why it's been so easy for me to transition into becoming a vegan. Because I started to let go of toxic things emotionally. And I started to feel better emotionally. So why not get rid of things that are toxic to my insides, to my body, if I can let go of things that's emotionally toxic? And that's what's happening. You know, that's what's happening. And I don't know what's gonna happen. You know, I don't know what's gonna happen in 6 months. I don't pretend to know. I'm just here, and I'm gonna take y'all with me. That's it. That's where I'm at. Cause y'all, I had a family. I'm gonna tell y'all. Yesterday, I had a family member. I was already in my feelings about one because the situation that's going on. But I had another family member yesterday. She was so disrespectful, y'all. She was so disrespectful. And I let her do it, and I didn't say nothing. I let her be so disrespectful, and she was so disrespectful to the point to other people could see it. It started real little, but I laid on who I was, and I was not gonna let her take me out of character. Because the truth is, I could have whooped her ass, and I could have talked about her to the point she would have cringed. But I laid on my piece. Am I gonna discuss it with somebody so they can have that discussion with her because I don't feel like I'm the person who should? Yes, I am. But I held my peace. Um, because I wasn't gonna let her take me into that dimension. Am I mad at her? No. Were my feelings hurt then? Yes. Are they hurt now? Just a little. I'm human. But then I had to look. She ain't happy. She ain't happy. And I'm happy. That's what it is. So that's where I am. And you know what? He always working. But he gonna continue to work. But I don't have to acknowledge his ass. I ain't got to acknowledge him. I got one person to acknowledge in his life, and that's the man above. I don't have to acknowledge people and their stupidity. They already know what they doing. We already know what we doing before we doing it. Unless you're mentally ill. And people already know what they're gonna do. Hey honey, when they doing it. They know what they doing. They know when they being condescending and when they being rude. They know unless it's something really wrong with them. They already know. So with that being said, y'all, I love y'all. I'm gonna go and take care of just pure evil. Try to water my garden because my plants are not doing that good in the ground. I don't know what's going on. I think it's been just too hot. But I'm going to water my garden, get a shower, start dinner, try to relax, eat, and get ready to fast. Y'all have a good night. I will see you guys tomorrow. I love y'all. I'm leaving the live chats up. It's going to be a series. It's going to be one every day for the next 10 days. And that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to be as open and honest with y'all as I can. And if y'all want to jump in at any point and start, or you want to go back and look through the fast, then hey, do that. Because I'm going to leave it up. Jump in whenever you feel like it. Like I said, if you don't feel like you can do a water fast or you want to start intermittent fasting, this is the time to start. But yeah, I love y'all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow around the same time.